Good evening to you. Rail passengers have told ITV Meridian travelling on southern trains at the moment is dangerous. They say so many trains have been cancelled through staff sickness and strikes that the few that are still running are packed beyond capacity. They want the government to step in immediately. Our transport correspondent Mike Pearce has more.
What do we want? Trains! What do we want it? Now!
For commuters, the daily cancellations and delays have reached boiling point. At Brighton last night, they made their anger clear on the station concourse. It came just hours after a new strike was called for next Tuesday.
Every day trains are cancelled, delayed, passengers are rammed onto overcrowded services. I'm 6 months pregnant and it's dangerous.
The fact they're striking is ridiculous because if I didn't show up to work, I'd be sacked, I'd be out of a job.
It's very difficult. It's obviously staff have been kind of working to rule and sickness. That means it's hard for us to get to work, and I've had problems getting to work, getting home to see my son.
Southern say high numbers of staff are going sick following the recent strikes over drivers closing train doors. The RMT say the company don't employ enough staff and the move will put passengers' safety at risk. Today they held a protest in London.
They're intent on implementing these job cuts, which are going to affect the safety of our members and the travelling public, and we just can't let that happen.
Please get back round the table. Please talk to us sensibly about these changes because they're good for customers and they're good for our staff.
Meanwhile, Southern say they'll impose its new policy from August and have condemned next week's strike. Mike Pearce, ITV News, London.
Meanwhile, lecturers at Sussex University have been striking in a national dispute over pay and conditions. Union members staged a picket at the Falmer campus. They've rejected a pay rise of 1.1%. The protest was timed to disrupt the marking of students' degrees. The search continues for a climber who didn't return home last night. The man, who's 26 and from Southampton, had been climbing in the Swanage area. Some of his equipment has been located. Police looking for a missing 13-year-old from Sherborne have found a body. Sophie Clark told her parents she was going for a walk yesterday evening. The first ever live stream video of robotic surgery has taken place at Poole Hospital. The feed of a cancer patient in theatre was beamed to an international conference of doctors. 7 of our MPs are among 57 from the Conservative Party who've hit out at their own Chancellor over the EU. George Osborne says if we leave, he will bring in an emergency budget that will make cuts and increase taxes. But MPs say they'll refuse to back such a budget and vote him down. From our region, they include the MP for Crawley, Henry Smith, New Forest MP Julian Lewis and the Christchurch MP Christopher Chope. Many have been criticising such rows, saying they confuse voters, especially those who are undecided. We've been to meet 3 young people who don't know which way they are going to vote. We took them to 2 successful businesses here in the south to see if that would help.
Hello, welcome to MJ Allen. Hello. If you'd like to follow me and we'll show you around.
Tim Allen takes Cameron, Tamana, Sidonia and our ITV crew on a tour of his engineering business. His father started this company in 1958.
This long arm here is connected to a hopper of sand outside.
Tim is hoping to show the youngsters why pulling out of Europe would be bad for business.
So this is an example of the sort of product that we sell directly into Europe. Our customer in this case is in Holland, and it's as easy for me to sell a product like this into Holland as it would be into the north of England. And anything that would make that more difficult is going to put me at a commercial disadvantage with competitors that I might have in Poland or Czechoslovakia.
A staff of 250, including young apprentices, invent and make bespoke parts.
How do you think it would affect young people if we was to leave the EU?
If businesses like me aren't able to sell us freely into Europe, then we would lose the ability to employ so many people. So I worry that there would be an impact on youngsters' employment prospects here and also that ability to work anywhere they like across Europe.
Thank you. Thank you. Having heard one side of the debate, we travel to another family business with a very different view.
Now, if you want to follow me, I'll take you around to where they're actually putting everything together and starting to glass fibre everything up.
CEO Emma Pullen leads us through her workshop, which employs 15 people. Since opening in 2008, the team here has manufactured and sold more than 1,000 hovercraft. Their biggest customer is the US, but selling within the EU is hard work.
You sell hovercrafts all around the world. How would this really impact you leaving the EU?
So if we remain in the EU, nothing will change for me at all. If anything, things will become more and more complicated because I don't believe the EU is finished regulating on stuff that it likes to regulate on. I want to start trading with the emerging nations around the world. I've lost deals because we haven't been able to trade with certain countries because of trade tariffs that haven't been agreed through the EU yet. We're a nation of entrepreneurs and it stifles small businesses being in the EU, and I want all of you to have the opportunity to start your own businesses if you want to and not feel these heavy shackles of the EU.
Last stop on the journey, somewhere to digest what we've heard.
Going to the first place kind of swayed over my argument. I was kind of a stronger argument overall.
Has today helped you make up your mind as to how you're going to vote?
I think I'm almost certain on my opinion, and I think it is that I still want to remain in the EU.
When we left the first one, I was like, yeah, definitely voting to stay. But then when we left the second one, I was back to where I was at the beginning.
I've learned a lot today and I'm very much undecided. However, I'm still leaning towards the Remain side.
I'm still undecided because I can see the pros and cons for both sides.
The vote next week could be the most important decision the British public will make in a generation. But it's this young generation which will have the longest to live with the consequences of the decision they make. Nasha, ITV News.
Premier League fixtures for next season have been published and Bournemouth have a mouth-watering start against Manchester United. It'll be Jose Mourinho's first competitive match in charge. Southampton's new manager, whoever that might be, will play Watford at home. Will it be mouth-watering weather in store? I doubt it, but let's find out. Here's your forecast now with Helen Plint.
From blizzards to pool, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Well, there have been some spectacular skies over the south over the last couple of days. Poole Harbour here captured in all its glory by Martin Dolan. But that said, we do still hold on to the chance of further thundery downpours. Well spaced though, as I say, with some sunshine, although turning fresher into the weekend. Not the case overnight tonight though. Yet another muggy, sticky, mild sort of night. At least it will gradually start to dry out. There's still the chance of one or two fairly sharp showers at first, and mist will start to develop for some as well. So a murky start to the day. That said, the sunshine quickly warming things up, and by the afternoon, well, once again a return of that wet weather for those furthest west.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Keeping a close eye on summer. The Pollen Count, sponsored by Ilogy Eye Drops.
So with some sunshine today and well into tomorrow, high pollen levels for the time being, but the further west you head, they will start to lower, of course, as that wet weather tracks in, but reaching very high by the weekend.
And that's the way we look so far this evening. More news later tonight at 10:50. That's with Rachel Hepworth. Join her if you can. Meanwhile, from the team here for now, it's take care. Bye-bye.